Paralysis by paralysis. You are
Exactly.
you're overthinking things.
Yep, overthinking. You're right.
Talk about that. How can folks just start taking action instead of like overthinking things and different things like that?
The reason we do overthink is because we want to have a perfect result. And we want to cover every aspect of every element of everything we're considering so that we can know what the outcome's going to be. But the reality is we're never going to know what the outcome's going to be. We never do. Even the best plans that we make, they're all subject to the future and what happens in the future. And you cannot know that. You can't predict it. You can't prepare for it. You just have to take something that feels right, that sounds right, that is what you should be doing, and do it. And the worst case scenario is it doesn't work out quite the way you want. But even in those situations, you get a whole lot of knowledge along that journey. So the worst thing that can happen to you is you get a whole bunch of knowledge on how to have a better life. Best thing that can happen to you is the path you've chosen is the right path. The worst thing that can happen to you if you don't do anything is the same as the best thing that can happen to you. Nothing. And you don't want that, right?
Right. It's like the uncertainty. I was, the book Psycho-Cybernetics. They talking about how the only way to actually achieving anything is to take action. Either you're going to succeed or you're going to go into a direction and it's going to take you to the direction where you need to go. So you're going to find something out.
Exactly.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. So I want to talk, and I guess I want to dig a little bit deeper into overthinking. I think entrepreneurs, I think a lot of folks, fear holds them back. And I was looking at, I saw an Instagram reel of yours where you talked about as a kid, it was curiosity that we saw, right? Curiosity is what kind of drove our world. And then as we get older, curiosity kind of turns into fear. Talk about that. Like, how can we start to see fear? Like, what happens? First of all, I guess what happens? Why does curiosity turn into fear? How can we get back into the mind frame of going back to curiosity?
Curiosity turns into fear after years of people telling you, you can't do this, you can't do that, you're not good enough, you're not strong enough, you're not fast enough, you're not smart enough. Fear happens when the innocence of childhood gets destroyed piece by piece by the adults around you. And then as you grow older, even further complicated by the adults around you. We're probably the perfect society of encouraging people to do anything they can in the world, but holding them down the entire trip. It's mind-boggling to me how much negativity surrounds us as we try to do things that are unusual, outside of that comfort zone that I call the quicksand zone. The curiosity of childhood is what allows kids to create so much, to learn languages fast, to think they can do anything, to start being held back. No, Johnny, you can't jump out the third floor window, which I don't recommend for anybody, but you have that type of exuberance as a child that I can do anything. And the drudgery of life as you go past 5th grade, 6th grade, 10th grade, 12th grade, out of school, maybe into college, maybe starting a job, that whole reality of life that's not real at all is what we get trapped in. And then we're afraid to step out of that comfort zone. We're afraid to have the self-assurance we need to make a difference in our life. We all want incredible lives, but we're not prepared to do incredible things to get there. Like, I would ask your audience, what incredible thing did you do today that's going to lead you to that incredible life that you want? If the answer is nothing, you're not going to get there. And so you got to replace that fear, get that kid exuberance back into you, and think that you can do anything and start doing everything.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, it's crazy. You talk about different experiences that we get, and it's almost like trauma in a way of like, you go up, you have your first sales phone call and you get rejected, or you get rejected by the girl, or whatever the case may be, or your parents told you not to do anything. And I think and I was reading, it's a book, Million Dollar Habits, Brian Tracy. He talked about different fears that we have, right? One fear the fear of kind of getting out of your comfort zone, trying something new, right? And I know at IdeaPros, right, you work with folks who are building different businesses. How do you help folks kind of get out of their comfort zone of trying something new? What do you tell folks like that?
Yeah. So when people come to us, they're already kind of ready to, but not all the way. But the reality is you have to replace your thinking of what you believe is your comfort zone and understand that that's quicksand that's quickly turning into a hard cement foundation that you're never going to be able to walk out of. It's like the bird in the cage. You know, if you have a bird in the cage for 2, 3, 4 years, and then you open the cage up and let them out, they don't want to leave. They don't want to go into this big, beautiful world that they can fly all around to. They'd rather stay in that cage. And if you can think of your comfort zone like that cage, that's a place that's going to keep you where you are today forever. And you got to get out of it. You have to believe you can do anything, and understand that where you are, if you wake up every morning and you're still in the same place, it's because you're not getting out of the comfort zone. You're not getting out of your cage. And you have to make those first steps. The worst case scenario, again, as you just said, is you've made it a little bit further along your journey. You know, staying in your comfort zone and being afraid to act, you're not going to get anywhere.
I love it. So what about this? What about the fear of what people think about you? Right.
The fear of what people think about you.
Yeah. The fear of what people say. And you keep talking, you keep saying, it's a word you keep saying, is like mental quicksand. Right.
Yeah. All right. So look, if you're afraid of what people think about you, you're on the wrong planet. Because whether you're successful, whether you're not successful, whether you stay in your comfort zone, whether you become the next billionaire, people are going to talk about you. There are going to be people that hate your ass. People are going to speak badly of you, whether you get the perfect girlfriend or the one that nobody understands, or the perfect job, or you're running off in the middle of the night trying to make extra money. People will talk about you. Get used to it. And hey, the good news is if they're talking about you, that means you're doing something.
Right. So it's crazy. It's a win-win. I mean, it's a lose-lose either way. It's a win-win or lose-lose either way. So you need to focus on what you need to focus on.
That's right.
And so you talked a little bit about a vision, right? Of actually understanding what you want, right? When you need that vision to be stronger than the fears, you need that why to be stronger than your fears. How do folks start to create a vision for their lives? I think most people they haven't even taken the time to actually sit down and think about, hey, how do I create a vision for myself?
Yeah. Where I like to start everybody is in trying to find your purpose, trying to find something that you're passionate about. And if you can focus on what you're passionate about and then try to figure out how am I going to turn what I'm passionate about into a business, into my future, into my life, then you can start developing your vision for your future self with that. But here's what happens. We have this grandiose vision of what we want. In fact, tonight, I'm going to be speaking on Instagram Live at 6 p.m. Pacific, which that's going to be well past when this thing actually gets launched and out. But we're going to be speaking about that, like success. What's the real measure of success? Is it fake? Is it real? And it's the same thing with us. A lot of times our visions become very monetary. I want that great house. I want that great relationship. I want that great car. My kids are going to be perfect. And you got to instead focus more on the reality of life. Nobody's perfect, and just financial means and physical things are not what a vision is built around. How do you see yourself giving back? How do you see yourself becoming a whole person? How do you see yourself being respected by those around you? How are you going to be a guiding light for others? If you can establish a vision along those terms, then you can start marching forward towards it. The biggest thing that even when you do that, though, be mindful of this, especially with young people. The biggest problem that you guys have is you have this 10-year plan and you want to accomplish it in 1 year.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't happen. It's not going to happen. And you're going to get so fucking frustrated. Hopefully I can say fucking on the show.
You can.
You get so, okay, thanks. you get that actually is my trademarked slogan is fuck average, be legendary.
Yeah, I seen
I got
that.
a trademark on that.
Yeah, I saw it. I actually saw that in your office. I saw that. I was like, that's dope. I need that. I guess I can't have it since you got a trademark. So
that's right. So don't try to do a decade of your life in 1 year and don't get frustrated when it doesn't happen. Look down at the next step you have to take and take it and celebrate that next step. Celebrate the micro victories that you have along the way. That's how you're going to get closer and closer to where you want to be. And that vision starts becoming reality.